Mr. Nwaokobia, you know, also has to draw you back to where we're coming from, because you have said that you've left discussing persons to discussing issues. The PDP has made it clear that your presidential candidate is an issue for them. And they brought up certain things. They brought up his health. They brought up also the issue of the certificate. Your party has also responded at many levels and different forums, saying that they do not think that is an issue. But, you know, whether or not it's an issue for you, it's caught on discussion amongst the electorate. And so they wonder, you know, do you think that we're going to get
a healthy precedent?
A healthy precedent. It's an issue because of where we're coming from. And they also wonder whether or not this is just an assumption. For instance, I went to school, I was a former head of state. I'm in the Nigerian military. No need to disparage the military, but nevertheless, all they say the Constitution, I beg your pardon, the electoral law requires is proof.
First, fundamentally, what is true is the fact that General Muhammad Buhari did not just go to school. He attended the best military schools in the world, and it is in tandem with international practice for you to, before you get beyond the rank of a captain in the army, you have the equivalent of a BSc. Do you understand? When you leave the NDA is the equivalent of a university, I hope you know. And then besides that, Buhari had run the presidential race a few times before now, and his certificate, the armed forces has come out to say that his certificate is with them. And INEC...
copies of the certificate. Copies
of his certificate. Yeah. That's what you present to INEC. You know, I was a presidential candidate in 2011, so I know that. That's what you present, is your photocopy. Mm-hmm. And then the schools he had attended, the other short school in the UK, and then the one he attended in America, have sent him papers to prove and authenticate his claims. And INEC has said that they have a copy. They haven't denied it. So I think that it's actually getting curiouser and curiouser. Rather than debate issues, the PDP would rather more sling. But I think that the fundamentals are simple. This is, the APC is the only party that's saying that not only will we fight corruption, we'll enable the agencies, EFCC, we'll make it independent, and we'll make sure that the fight against corruption becomes a practice of national development. It was Lee Kuan Yew who said, when he took over power in Singapore, that fundamentally what he came to do in Singapore was three things. And they asked him, what are the three things? He said, fight corruption, and fight corruption. Now, when you fight corruption, you release 70% of the wealth that are otherwise stolen, and then you use it to build education, to build roads, to build infrastructure, and to get health care for your people. Once that is done, development is sedimented. And then as to the health of Mr. President in waiting, I want to say that Muhammad Buhari has said that all he had a few weeks ago was cold. And then Ahmad Bello University has come out to say that Mr. President in waiting, General Muhammad Buhari, did not and has never been treated for cancer.
So are you prepared? Because if the party in power has said that your candidate is going to be an issue for them and that they will continue to bring up, you know, issues on his person, is your party prepared to be as open about the person of Muhammadu Buhari? If you say that you want to move on to other issues or you want to discuss what you term as issues, are you prepared to bring out as much information on him as possible to ensure that they focus on the issues that you want to discuss?
Our presidential candidate is bare, is in public domain. We know him. He's been known to Nigerians since 1983 effectively, and when he became the head of state. So I do not think the APC is not interested in the persona of president. We will answer their questions. But what we're interested in doing is to tell Nigerians that not only are we going to deepen the frontiers of anti-corruption, but we will build our economy. Not only will we build our economy, but we intend, according to our manifesto, to, within the next 4 or 5 years, build up 40,000 megawatts of power through the harnessing of our natural resources. We are poised to move in Nigeria.
How many years? 5 years?
4 to 8 years, actually. 4 to 8 years. Then first term and second term. But our presidential candidate has said, and he said proactively, he's not a man who would lie. He has said that he will be a one-term president. So in actual fact...
So how many megawatts would you get in
40,000 megawatts.
40,000 in the first
And you asked me, is it possible? I'll tell you that when Bola Ige was made Minister of Power in 1999, he did say that it could be done in 6 months. And
but it turns out that...
No, but it is possible. I'll tell you how possible it is, yes. And when I ran the presidential race in 2011, I made my own research, and I found out it actually can be done in 6 months. How? You have biogas, you have solar system, you have wind from the desert, from the Sahara. If you harness all this, you don't need more than 4 months to do all this. It is only thermal generation and perhaps hydro that you need big establishments that will take you over. Biogas, you don't need so long a time. And you can generate from biogas and wind as much as 15,000 megawatts. You know, I think that it was one great philosopher that said, oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. And that is why the Nigerian people have bought into the hokum and the hogwash that presents power generation as a journey to heaven. It is not. It is something that can be achieved and is achievable. And the APC manifesto is saying that within 4 to 8 years, we can do 40,000 megawatts of power.
You know, these sound so beautiful when you look at them, you know, on papers, and people would say, well, you're not there yet, so we really can't say you have been tested. We're talking about your party at a national level. When you speak of things like power generation, which you say is doable within a year, have you been able to test that in any of your states?
Sulaiman, let's even be practical here. At some point, even the IP, the Independent Power Development, it didn't take the 44 megawatts that Lagos State at some point developed, it didn't take them more than 6 months to do that. In Odili's time, it didn't take him more than... We remember their facts and figures. So that's why I quoted Scott Parker, who said, Walter Scott, who said, oh, what a tangle web we weave when first we practice to deceive. The truth is that these things are achievable. All that holds it down is the political will, the absence of a political will. If you truly want to make these things work, you can make it work. And then we have seen them as, it's practical in states, in countries like Brazil, South Africa. They've done them. They didn't need so long a time. It's an excuse for failure. You know, when you spend so much, I'll give you a practical...
Sorry, I just realized that some of these points will not be well articulated or, you know, sold to the people if you don't really stay off some of these distractions, for instance, the certificate issue. Because if you don't stay off that by clearing the air, you really can't espouse some of these other points. Recall that in the United States, it took the Obama administration finally to show his birth certificate before they moved on. So, in moving on, when can the people see the certificate of General Buhari?
Oh, I tell you with the greatest sense of commitment. You Google, if you just go on Google now, you see some of the papers are there, and then and then you assess INEC. INEC will tell you they have it. I think that's exactly why I'm here. I think that we must, and that's the responsibility we owe the Nigerian people. We must deepen our discourse, because the truth is that ordinarily, what is demanded by law? It's just a secondary school certificate to contest the presidential election. And he's done that 3 times before. So you ask yourself, why would
3 times before?
He's contested 3 times before. So you ask yourself, why is the Goodluck administration interested in this issue? Why are they interested in the fundamental issues of
Just
state?
a moment, because we'll have to wrap up.
Like you said, is distractions. And these distractions will not do the Nigerian enterprise any good. We must place fundamental issues before the people. Did you say
he's done it 3 times before? Does that mean he's presented it 3 times before?
Oh, yes, INEC has it. So that's exactly why I'm asking. Why these distractions? INEC has it.
So INEC has it?
INEC has it. INEC has not denied, you ask yourself, when he ran against Obasanjo, why was it not an issue? Obasanjo had people who articulated campaign manifesto and his programs and programmatics. When he ran against Yar'Adua, he had people who articulated issues and programmatics. But tragically, after 6 years in governance, it has become very difficult, almost impossible for the good luck image makers to articulate fundamental issues for which and by which his race can stand. So what they're trying to do is muscling and raise issues that are at best banal. We are saying that for the first time in the history of this country, we have a party that has a progressive and a proactive manifesto that is ready in words and in deeds and in body language to address the fundamental issues of state and move this country away from the jangling discord of poverty to the amazing place of promise. All
right, Chris Nwaokobia is the Director General, Change Ambassadors of Nigeria. Thank you for coming on this morning.
It's my pleasure, Tumbali.
We have another perspective coming up in just a moment. Join us again.